Hey, this is JC, the Fantasy Football Explorer, and sometimes, even though all the research that I do, sometimes I get it wrong. Let's get into it. Okay, the first player I got it wrong with was Miles Sanders. Um, Currently running back 10, 14.6 points per game. I thought he was in a backfield by committee last season with head coach and OC that were committed to throwing the football, and in the second half of the season last year, they decided to run the ball more, but still it was a committee. This season, they've run it with Sanders a lot more. Last season, Miles Sanders had 20 red zone rushing attempts, and already this season, he has 16 red zone rushing attempts. So, my question to the head coach of the Eagles is, who are you, and what have you done with Nick Sirianni? Second, Lamar Jackson. I thought that at best he would be QB8 in fantasy, maybe as low as QB15. Right now he's the QB2 in fantasy, scoring 25 points a game. I thought maybe defensive coordinators around the league had caught up to him. They knew what he didn't like. He'd see a lot of cover zero blitz. But he's done pretty well, and I guess he's highly motivated that this is a contract year. And when you want to get more than $250 million contract, you decide to ball out. So I was wrong with Lamar. Third, Saquon Barkley. Uh, an improved offensive line, yes, but I think the biggest improvement was with head coach. And they really upgraded. And Saquon right now is currently running back 2 in fantasy. 20.7 fantasy points per game. I'm wondering if defenses will catch up because the Giants can't throw the ball, but I got it wrong. Saquon's doing pretty well for himself. Next, I really got it wrong with Albert Okwuegbunam. I thought with the new Denver offense, this tight end would really be catching a lot of balls. He'd get targets. He'd be an integral part of this offense, but they don't look like they know what they're doing in Denver at all. It looks like a real mess. And I really whiffed on him. I've dropped him from my fantasy teams. I'm looking for another backup tight end. A real swing and a miss. Lastly, I was a little bit wrong about James Robinson, running back, Jacksonville Jaguars. I didn't think he'd do much this season. Now, the last couple games, he hasn't done well. But I thought, at least for right now, I'd put him in where I was wrong. He's the running back 17 in fantasy. It looks like ETN might be the first string running back now, but Robinson's done a lot better than I thought. So I'll say I was wrong about him for now. It's embarrassing. You try hard to get everything right, but sometimes you just get it wrong, and you got to be man enough to admit it. So there we go. And keep in mind, it's a jungle out there, and YouTube, stay free.